Welcome back, guys, to the second part of the Instagram live cooking lessons I'll be giving during our self-isolation. And what I'm going to be doing next is a pork cheek casserole with caramelised apples. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I've got a pan on just to heat through, and what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of unsalted butter, and I'll just put that in the pan to melt. So that goes in there like that. What I will also do is I'll add a splash of olive oil to the pan. This just stops the butter from burning, so it literally just need a small splash, and that is it. So just let that melt down. I've put that on a low heat. And next we're going to take our Bramley apples. I've peeled them, not very well, but that doesn't matter. And what we're going to do is just literally slice them just into rings like that. So the core's still in. Now you can take the core out if you wish, but that's entirely up to you. I mean, a lot of it will break down in the cooking process anyway. And then next, let me just take the end off that one. Obviously, do watch your fingers. And then we'll just place the apples into the butter, like so. And what I want to do is I want them to caramelise and get a nice bit of colour on them. So in they go, like that. And then obviously just discard your waste. What I will also do as well is just add a touch of cinnamon to those apples. So lightly, like that. Turn the heat up a bit, just so they caramelise. And then while we're doing that, we'll prep our vegetables. And all I've got is one leek. Again, this was all bought from the local greengrocer in Chipping Sodbury, Ian's. He's right on the high street, so if you are ever in Chipping Sodbury and you want good local fresh fruit and veg, he's the man to go to. So that's the leek, and then I'll just take some carrots. I'm not bothering to peel the carrots, because a lot of the goodness in veg is actually in the skin, so I tend to leave the skins on veg, because A, it does make life easier, and B, you retain the nutrients in the veg. So I will pop these back in the bowl just to clear my chopping board. So the apple crumble, by the way, turned out quite nice. I'll show you that in a second. It was just in the oven for just under an hour, because I just wanted to make sure those apples were well and truly cooked through, which they were. And we'll serve that with the dessert this evening. So the apples I have used have been Bramley apples, fresh local English Bramley apples. Turn those apples over, so we're getting a slight bit of colour on there, which is good. So I'm going to get a nice golden brown, nice caramelised colour, because obviously the caramel is flavour. Potatoes, these are just English potatoes. I can't remember what variety they are, I think, to be honest, but I'm just chopping these up just roughly. They're all going in the stew, so you can be quite chunky with them because they'll help bulk out the stew, and potato being a starch will help thicken the gravy as well. We'll be making the gravy with some stock that I made last weekend, fresh stock, and a bottle of Thatcher's Gold cider, which is always goes down well. So they are the vegetables. Right, I'm going to turn these apples over now. Just so the other side colour. And again, I will just season the other side, just a bit cinnamon as well. Just turn that down ever so slightly. And I'll show you here the pork cheeks. These are from Gloucester Old Spot pork. Gloucester Old Spot is obviously a traditional breed of English pig, and they're again locally sourced. So it's all fresh, it's all local, it's all fairly easily accessible from your local butcher if you can't get to the supermarket, because we all know that the supermarkets at the moment are a little bit crazy. It's slightly disappointing to see things have gotten this way, but what can you do? So I'm just going to peel some garlic. Again, garlic's quite fiddly, so if you want a quick way to these are just the flat of the knife, and then the skin comes away quite easily. Excellent. I will be back in a few moments when we prepare the pork. So we're back. The apples are out, and they've got that lovely caramel colour to them. And next, what we're going to do is we are going to start the pork. We're going to just season that with some salt and pepper. It's very important to season meat, fish and chicken, whatever you're cooking with. It's very important to season it and season it well. So just turn that over. Wash hands. And season again. You don't want to go overboard with salt, because pork is quite a naturally salty meat anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cook this pork in pieces, in 2 whole pieces, because the stewing process will it'll braise the meat and break it down anyway, so there's no need to cut it into smaller chunks. So again, we just want to seal that, get that nice and golden brown. I just crushed 2 cloves of garlic, so that will go in with our veg. And I've also got some dried basil and some dried thyme to season everything with, and a bottle of Thatcher's Gold cider. Shannon 1997, hello to you, thank you for joining. If you've got any questions that you'd like answering, then please do let me know. Let me just close that door before the smoke alarm goes off. and the dog starts going mental. So can you save your life, please? I think that's what I've done. Excellent. So the pork, sear it on one side, I'll sear it over on the other, and that'll lock in those juices and really make a really nice rich sauce. What I'll also do as well is when I start cooking the veg, I'll dust that with some flour, and that'll help thicken the gravy as well. So pork cheek is a relatively unusual thing to cook with, but it's a very tasty meat. It's a cheap cut of meat. It's easily kind of accessible from your local butcher. Some supermarkets stock it as well, so it's relatively easily accessible. And also beef cheek as well. That is another really nice cut of meat. So the pork is seared. Beautiful, beautiful. That is, and that's kind of what we're talking about there. I don't know whether you can see that, but that's what we're talking about. Next, we take our cider and we deglaze the pan. Okay. Just work the spoon at the bottom of the pan to get all of those bits from the bottom. Just cook off the alcohol. My dog's just starting a fight with next door's dog. Never mind. So the richness of the butter and the cider, they go really well. Once we cook off the alcohol, we'll add the veg, add the apples, and let all of that kind of braise together, and then we'll reintroduce the meat with some stock, and then that will make for a really, really rich, lovely gravy. You can smell the alcohol burning off, so you know that it's doing its job. So that's great. Also, while the pork is resting as well, the juices that are in the pork will kind of retain within the flesh, which again will add flavour to the gravy. I'm just going to put the apples back in now, into the cider. Okay. And then we'll start introducing our veg. So potatoes, onions, garlic and leek all go in there. Like so. Also add our stock. This stock has gone cold, so it's like a jelly. So at the moment, it does not look appetizing in the slightest, but it will add some real depth of flavour. There we go. Season with thyme. Be quite generous. fine. And some basil. Obviously salt. And pepper. Never forget your salt and pepper. Salt enhances the flavour of a lot of things. Pepper changes it. So you'll find that if something is particularly bland and you want it to taste of something, if you add a bit of salt to it, it usually brings out the flavour of whatever's in the pot. So I'm just going to reintroduce the pork back into the pot, like so, and the juices as well. Get that right down in there. There we go. I'll just fill up the bowl here with some cold water. You can, if you want, add some stock to this, like beef stock or pork stock. But I'm just gonna add some water to it and just let the juices do their own thing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring that up to the boil. As soon as it's up to the boil, lid on, in the oven, and leave that for as long as you possibly dare. I would say a good 2.5 to 3 hours, and that will be absolutely delicious. Any questions, feel free to message me, but thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.